Hey, hello. I happen to be Ken Briscoe, and I'm a guy that sells Peterbilt trucks here at Dobbs Peterbilt in West Sacramento. Right behind me, what you saw me just get out of, is a 2024 Peterbilt 579. This is probably one of those trucks that you just see generically, and you figure that's just a regular old Peterbilt. And it might be. But realistically, let's go back and look at the history of Peterbilt. 579 has a great lineage, in that it comes from a company that started in 1939. And Al Peterman, he's a guy that worked in plywood and he worked in lumber, and he started trying to find a way to get his lumber from point A to point B, and that involved coming up with trucks. So what he did is he experimented with buying trucks, modifying them, and trying to figure out how to ship wood. And eventually, he bought this company that was called Fagil. Fagil was the company that was the predecessor to Peterbilt. They were in Oakland, California. He bought that company in 1939. And that was the lineage. They made 14 trucks in 1939 as Peterbilt. And out of those 14 trucks, I think the very first truck was a chain drive truck. And it worked well. He made it to go into lumber. It didn't work in lumber, but it ended up pulling all the wood and stuff that he needed. Let's jump from 1939's origin of Peterbilt and get back to where this 579 came from. It followed up a truck that was pretty incredible with Peterbilt. It was the Model 386. The 386 came about in 2005. And a lot of you guys probably know 386s. In 2005, it was such an advanced truck that the EPA called it one of the most fuel-efficient trucks on the market. Fuel-efficient and environmentally friendly. And for a truck to be called that in 2005 is pretty incredible. This truck took its place in 2012. So in 2012, Peterbilt had gone out and they surveyed tons of people, and they came back and they said, this is what everybody wants. So the 579 replaced the 386. This truck happens to be a tandem axle day cab, and I don't know if you can see this right here, but that word epic. This is a package that makes this truck really what it is. This runs a PACCAR engine. So epic means it's all Peterbilt, and it's all designed for the absolute best fuel efficiency that you can get. So you take a PACCAR engine. This has got the PACCAR MX-13. It's a 485 horsepower engine, 1650 foot-pounds of torque. It's paired to an automated transmission, to PACCAR's automated 12-speed transmission. We go to the very rear. We've got a PACCAR 40,000 axle. And as we talked about, this epic package is designed for absolutely incredible fuel economy. And Peterbilt really achieved that. They paired it up with the PACCAR engine, the PACCAR transmission, the PACCAR rear axle. And then you take some things like you take this fairing on top, you take these very highly custom designed mirrors, you look at the fact that in between the cab, my hand doesn't go through there because you've got a fairing in there. So you've got all these things that are designed to channel the air around the truck. What that equates to is about a 7% increase in fuel economy on a 579 Epic package. People laugh and they go, 7%. What is 7%? If you take a minute and you just do the math, it's huge. If you take this truck, say this typical truck goes 100,000 miles a year, and you're getting 7 miles to the gallon. 7% increase on 7 miles to the gallon is just about a half a mile to the gallon. If you do the math, it's really simple. You're going to save almost $5,000 in fuel with a 7% increase. Not only that, let me pop the hood. We'll pop the hood and we'll start here because there's a lot of people who are going to say, I don't know if I want a PACCAR engine. Well, let's just take a minute and talk about it. My first advice to you is Google. Just go on Google and ask, why should I buy a PACCAR engine? Because a lot of people's buddies and your buddies, and you've probably heard it, don't buy the PACCAR engine. It's just no good. If it wasn't any good, PACCAR wouldn't be putting about 50% of their trucks wouldn't be getting this engine. Now, this is what it looks like. It's an incredibly well-designed engine. They use compact graphite iron block. It's extremely lightweight. You compare this to the counterpart that people want, the X15 all the time. This is 465 pounds lighter. You take this 460 pounds lighter, and you come back here to this rear axle. This set of tandems here runs about 170 pounds lighter. You start adding up what you save in this truck, and you end up with a huge, you're saving 700-800 pounds of weight just in the PACCAR powertrain. You pair that with the increase in fuel efficiency, everything's going to last longer. Your fuel's going to last longer, your tires are going to last longer, your drivetrain's going to last longer. Not to mention, this engine runs about 10% quieter than most engines. If you compare it to a Cummins engine or any other truck engine, you fire up a PACCAR engine, it's going to be quieter, it's going to sound smoother, and coming in a little bit lighter. Here, you go back to it now. Let's do the math again. If you're saving 700 or 800 pounds of weight, what do you get to pick up in your payload? What does that add to your bottom line? You're adding 5,000 bucks in fuel and you're adding 800 pounds in payload. All right, what do you say we get off the soapbox? Tell you a little bit more about this truck. For starters, you've got a wheelbase here that's 195 inches long. It's running a 40,000 rear axle. Again, that's the PACCAR axle. We've got 12,005 in the front. You're running 485 horsepower, 1650 torque, 12-speed automated transmission. Fuel, 200 gallons. So this truck is ready to take a long distance if you need it. Rear ratio is 325. It's aerodynamic. It's pretty damn comfortable. One thing I can guarantee you, you won't be out popping wheelies and spinning Brodies in this thing. But if you look over here, that's the new 579 EV. That just might do the trick. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.